Today is March 6, 2023, and today I want to talk about toxic masculinity. Toxic masculinity is a huge problem in our society today. Men just don't know how to act, and because of this, masculinity has become toxic. So, what exactly is toxic masculinity? Well, not taking responsibility in life, that's toxic masculinity. Being controlled by your emotions, that's toxic masculinity. Giving in to whatever the culture says is relevant and not caring about the truth, that's toxic masculinity. Giving into pleasure and hedonism and just chasing thrills, that's toxic masculinity. Living in a fantasy world of video games or pornography, that's toxic masculinity. Seeing a girl that you find is attractive if you're a man and not going and approaching her and stating your intentions because you're afraid, and then building up resentment because you have no prospects with women, and so you start to hate women, that's toxic masculinity. You see, toxic masculinity isn't what culture says it is. True masculinity isn't toxic. Good men are needed. They're necessary for society to function. Men who go and take responsibility, who do their duty no matter what the cost is, because they know it has to be done, regardless of how they feel about it. Men who speak the truth, even though it might mean they get canceled or shunned from society or whatever consequences. Men who will risk their own lives in order to save someone else or to help someone else. Strong men who know how to protect and defend others, who have the capacity to be very dangerous and even violent if necessary. Those men are not toxic. Those men aren't going to hurt anyone unless it's in defense of something good. No, the men who are actually dangerous are the ones who have lost touch with their true masculinity. The men who don't know how to go after what they want, so they don't get anything, and who are resentful towards the world because of it. Men who are controlled by their emotions. those men are selfish men. They turn in on themselves and they end up hating the world, and they can snap just like that. Those are the dangerous men. Masculine men aren't a danger to society. Masculine men are the men who are going to protect it and build it up. Masculine men are necessary. They can't be just thrown to the side because people feel uncomfortable around them. Yeah, masculine men can feel uncomfortable to be around because they have the capacity to inflict great harm, but it's controlled. Think of someone who learns martial arts and they walk into a gym and they say, hey, I want to start learning martial arts. Do you think it would be better for them to spar with someone who's an expert, a black belt? Or do you think it would be better for them to spar with someone who's also a brand new beginner? Who's more likely to hurt that person? The beginner is the one that's more likely to hurt that person because they don't know what they're doing. The master, the black belt, is so controlled and so expert in his skill that he will know exactly when to do something and when not to, how far to push the person. The expert is not going to hurt that person, even though the expert has the capacity to totally destroy that person if they wanted. It's the same with masculinity. The men who are masculine and learn to tap into that masculinity, who develop the skills and the strength that they need, those men are not a danger to society. It's the weak men who are emotionally unstable who pose the biggest threat. So, is there a toxic masculinity? I don't know. I was using that as a theme for this video because I think it's kind of ridiculous how much men are looked down on in today's society, and how society is doing the exact opposite of what it should be doing, which is encouraging men to be strong and masculine. So if there is a sort of toxic masculinity, it's a weak masculinity that's the culprit. So, that's all I have for today. Peace.